The human technician Lily Morgan never meant to cause an interstellar incident. She was just doing her job aboard the United Earth Orbital Station when the alien delegation arrived. Their ship, the Silent Blossom, glided into dock with eerie grace, its hull shimmering like liquid obsidian. Lily had seen hollows of the Varelians before, tall, slender beings with opalescent skin and eyes like molten silver, but nothing prepared her for Princess Neranjara stepped onto the docking platform flanked by two armored honor guards. Her presence filled the sterile corridor with an almost electric stillness. Every human present stood rigidly at attention. Protocol demanded absolute silence until the Varelian ambassador spoke. Lily, however, was elbow deep in a faulty atmospheric regulator panel near the airlock. She did not see the delegation approach. A sudden hiss of escaping coolant startled her. She jerked back, smacking her head on the panel. Edge stars danced in her vision. When she blinked them away, she found herself staring directly into the princess' face. Nira had stopped just inches away. Drawn by the noise, Lily froze. Protocol screamed in her mind. Do not speak, do not move, do not even breathe. But the words tumbled out before she could. Stop them. You are so beautiful. Silence crashed down like a physical weight. The honor guards stiffened their hands, twitching toward hidden weapons. The ambassador gasped a sharp intake of breath that echoed off the metal walls. Even the station hum seemed to pause. Princess Nyra did not move. Her silver eyes widened slightly. A faint shimmer rippled across her pale cheeks like moonlight on water. Then she did something no human had ever seen. A Varelian doe. She blushed. The color was subtle. Not red, but a soft pearlescent glow that spread from her cheekbones down her slender neck. It pulsed once, twice in time with her quickening breath. Her lips parted just enough to whisper words so quiet. Lily almost missed them. Say it again. Human Lily swallowed hard, her throat dry as dust. She knew Varelians valued precision above all. Emotion was considered a flaw, a weakness in their rigid society. Public displays of feeling were unheard of, especially among royalty. Yet here stood their princess, visibly trembling, with something that looked dangerously like hope. Say it again, came the whisper, again, firmer this time. The honor guards exchanged uneasy glances but did not intervene. The ambassador stared at the floor, his posture rigid with suppressed panic. Lily took a shaky breath. You are beautiful, Princess Nyra. The glow on Nyra's face deepened. She stepped closer, ignoring the sharp intake of breath from her retinue. You speak the old tongue. Lily blinked, confused. No, Mom, just English. Nyra tilted her head, a gesture Lily recognized from xenolinguistics briefings as deep curiosity. The word beautiful, it is forbidden among my people. We have no use for such softness in our empire. Yet you say it so easily, as if it costs you nothing. Lily found her voice again. It does not cost anything, Princess. It is just the truth. A strange expression flickered across Nyra's face. Something between wonder and sorrow. For 300 cycles I have heard only duty, honor. Strength, never once have I been called beautiful. She reached out slowly, her long fingers stopping just short of touching Lily's cheek. Lily nodded, unable to speak. Nyra's fingertips brushed her skin. Feather light. A jolt passed between them. Not electric, but something deeper. Warmer, Lily felt it in her bones. A resonance like two tuning forks struck at once. The ambassador finally broke his silence. Your Highness, this is highly irregular. We must proceed to the council chamber. Nyra did not look away from Lily. Tell them to wait. Your Highness. Tell them. The ambassador bowed stiffly and retreated a few steps, his face tight with worry. Nyra turned back to Lily, her voice dropping even lower. They say humans are chaotic, emotional, reckless. That your kind will never join the Galactic Concord because you cannot control your hearts, but you looked at me and saw not a weapon, not a title, not a threat. You saw me. Lily felt tears pricking her eyes. I saw someone who looked lonely. Nyra flinched as if struck. Lonely. The word seemed to hang in the air, heavy with meaning. Yes, she whispered. Always a chime sounded through the corridor, signaling the start of the formal welcome ceremony. Nyra closed her eyes for a brief moment. When she opened them, her usual regal mask was back in place. But her hand lingered near Lily's for one heartbeat longer than necessary. Come, human, walk with me. Lily hesitated. I am just a technician, Princess. Am not cleared for the council chamber. Nyra gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. Today you are more than a technician. Today you are the first human to make a Varelian blush. That makes you very important indeed. She offered her arm after a moment of stunned hesitation. Lily took it. As they walked side by side down the corridor, the honor guards fell into step behind them. Whispers followed, in their wake from both human and alien observers. No one had ever seen a Varelian princess walk with a human, let alone touch one, inside the council chamber. Representatives from a dozen species waited. The air hummed with tension and unspoken rivalries when Nira entered with Lily at her side. A ripple of shock passed through the room. The Varelian ambassador hurried to her side. His voice low and urgent, "Your Highness, this is a breach of protocol." The humans are not yet recognized members of the Concord. Nira raised one hand, silencing him. "Today we change that." She turned to face the assembled delegates, her voice ringing with authority. "For generations, we Varelians have prided ourselves on logic, on control, on the absence of feeling. We called it strength. But I have learned something new today." She gestured to Lily. "This human saw me not as a symbol, not as a weapon, but as a person, and she called me beautiful." And that single word, she showed more courage than any warrior in this room. A murmur rose among the delegates. Nira continued, "We have judged humanity as too emotional, too unpredictable to join our alliance. But what if we were wrong? What if their so-called weakness is actually their strength? The ability to see beauty in others, to speak truth without fear, to feel deeply, even when it is dangerous." She turned to Lily. Her silver eyes soft. "You have given me a gift, human. Now I give one to you." She removed a small pendant from around her neck, a disk of iridescent crystal that pulsed with inner light. "This is a heartstone. It is given only once in a Varelian's life to someone who has touched their soul. Wear it, and know that you are seen." Lily took the pendant, her fingers trembling. "Thank you, Princess. Call me Nira." The room fell utterly silent. Back on the orbital station hours later, after the ceremony had ended and the delegations had retired, Lily sat alone in her small quarters, staring at the heartstone in her palm. It glowed faintly in the dim light, matching the rhythm of her heartbeat. A soft chime announced a visitor before she could respond. The door slid open. Nira stood there, still in her formal robes but without her guards. "May I come?" In. Lily nodded. Nira entered and the door closed behind her. For a long moment they just looked at each other. "You changed everything today," Lily said finally. Nira shook her head. "No, you did. He was trapped in a life of silence, duty, perfection. I did not even know I was lonely until you named it." She sat beside Lily on the narrow bunk. "The heartstone is more than a gift. It is a promise. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you will always have a place with me." Lily felt tears spill over. "I am just a technician." Nira cupped her face in both hands, her touch warm and sure. "You are Lily Morgan, the human who called a princess beautiful, and in doing so reminded an entire empire that hearts matter more than thrones." Outside the station window, Earth hung in the blackness, a blue-green jewel against the stars. Inside the small room, two women from different worlds sat shoulder to shoulder. Dao, as princess and technician, but as friends, and maybe something more. The heartstone glowed brighter between them, pulsing with a light that needed no words, only truth. Weeks passed and the heartstone never dimmed. It rested against Lily's chest, warm and steady like a second heartbeat. News of the Varelian princess's public gesture spread faster than light across human networks. Earth governments scrambled to understand what it meant. Was this diplomacy or something deeper? No one knew, but everyone watched Nira return to the orbital station, often under the guise of cultural exchange. But Lily knew better. The princess came to sit with her in quiet corners, to share stories, to learn about human things like coffee rain and lullabies. Nira listened with rapt attention, her silver eyes wide with wonder at the simplest things. Once she cried when Lily described how dandelion seeds floated on the wind. "We have no flowers on Virelia," she whispered, "only crystal forests and silent skies." Lily began teaching her small human custom. Show to hold a mug with both hands, how to laugh without covering her mouth, how to say, "I miss you" without shame in return. Nira showed Lily glimpses of her world memories projected through the heartstone, images of vast obsidian cities, where music was made from shifting light and grief was expressed through intricate shadow dances. Lily saw Nira's childhood, a lonely girl raised in echoing halls, trained to suppress every flicker of feeling. You were never allowed to be soft. Lily said one evening. Naira looked away. Softness was seen as failure. But you called me beautiful anyway. That night something shifted. Naira reached for Lily's hand and did not. Let go. Their fingers twined together like roots seeking water. Neither spoke. They did not need to. Then came the summons, a priority message from the Varelian High Council. Princess Naira was ordered to return home immediately. Her presence was required for the Ascension rites, a ceremony that would bind her to the throne forever. Naira stood in Lily's quarters, her face unreadable but her hands trembling. I must go. Lily nodded, her throat tight. How long? Until the rites are complete. 3 cycles, about 6 weeks in your time, Lily swallowed, and after Naira looked at her, the pearlescent blush returning, faint but unmistakable. After I am bound to the throne, I will have less freedom, but I will find a way. I promise. Before she left, Naira pressed her forehead to Lily's in the Varelian gesture of deepest trust. Breathe for me while I am gone. I will feel it through the stone. Then she was gone. The station felt hollow without her. Lily threw herself into work, repairing systems, calibrating sensors, running diagnostics, but every quiet moment brought Naira's voice back, remembering the way she said Lily like it was a secret and a song. 6 weeks passed slowly, then 7, then 8. No message came. Lily checked every official channel, every diplomatic feed. Nothing. The Heartstone still glowed, but its pulse felt distant, strained, like a voice calling through thick glass. On the 57th day, a coded transmission arrived, not from Naira, but from a Varelian aide whose name Lily did not recognize. The message was short, urgent. The princess is in danger. The council has declared her unfit to rule. They say her contact with humans has corrupted her judgment. They plan to strip her of title and memory. Lily read the words 3 times. Then she ran. She bypassed 3 security checkpoints. Using maintenance tunnels she knew better than anyone. She accessed the emergency comms array and sent a single burst transmission on a frequency only one ship would recognize. Silent Blossom. This is Lily Morgan. Naira needs you. She did not wait for a reply. She grabbed a survival pack, a sidearm she had never fired, and the Heartstone. Then she boarded a maintenance shuttle and launched without clearance. Space stretched endlessly around her. The shuttle was slow, meant for short hops, not deep runs, but it was all she had. For 3 days she flew toward Varelian space, guided only by the Heartstone's faint pull. It grew stronger as she neared their system. A steady thrum in her chest. On the 4th day, the Silent Blossom found her. It appeared without warning, swallowing her tiny shuttle in its docking bay. Naira's aide, a young Varelian named Kale, greeted her with wide eyes. Lily nodded. Where is she? They have confined her to the memory vaults. They are preparing the cleansing ritual tonight. What is that? They will erase her mind. Lily, all memories of you. Of Earth. Of everything that made her feel. Knuckle led her through hidden passages beneath the palace. The walls were smooth black stone. Humming with ancient energy guards patrolled every corridor. But Kale knew their route. She had been Naira's closest friend since childhood. We tried to stop them, he whispered. But the council fears change more than war. They reached a sealed door marked with glowing sigils. Beyond it, Lily could feel the Heartstone, pulling hard like a magnet. Naira was close. Kale input a code, his fingers shaking. The door slid open. Inside, Naira sat on a plain stone bench, her hands bound with light chains. Her eyes were dull. Her glow faded to a faint gray. But when she saw Lily, her breath caught. Lily rushed to her, dropping to her knees. Of course I came. They cannot take you from me. Naira touched her face with chained hands. They say I am broken, that my heart is too human. Lily pressed the Heartstone into Naira's palm. Then let them see what a human heart can do. At that moment, alarms blared. The council had discovered the breach. Kale hissed, we have minutes. Lily looked at Naira. What do we do? Naira stood, her eyes clearing with sudden resolve. There is one law older than the council, the bond of the Heartstone. If 2 souls are truly linked, no ritual can break it. But how? Naira took Lily's hands. We must merge our memories fully. Not just share them, but become one in the eyes of the old. Cody, it is dangerous. If we fail, we both lose ourselves. Lily did not hesitate. To it, Naira closed her eyes and began to chant in the old tongue. The Heartstone flared blindingly. Bright light filled the chamber, wrapping around them like liquid starlight. Memories poured between them. Lily's childhood, her first sunrise. Her mother's lullaby, Nira's first forbidden tear, her secret sketch of Earth's oceans, her whispered wish for someone to see her. They saw each other fully, completely. Without shame or fear, outside the door guards gathered, weapons raised. The light peaked, then vanished. Lily and Nira stood hand in hand, unchained. The heartstone now pulsed between them, not on one neck but shared in the space between their palms. The door exploded inward. Council enforcers stormed in, led by the stern-faced High Minister Princess. "Nira, you are hereby stripped of." He stopped because Nira was glowing, not just her cheeks but her whole body radiating soft pearlescent light, and Lily beside her shimmered too human skin, now threaded with the same gentle luminescence. "The bond is complete," the High Minister whispered. "It cannot be undone." Nira stepped forward, her voice calm but unbreakable. "You sought to erase me, because I felt, but feeling is not weakness. It is the source of true strength." She raised their joined hands. "This human showed me that beauty exists even in silence, even in duty, even in loneliness, and she taught me to name it." The enforcers lowered their weapons. Even the High Minister bowed his head. The cleansing ritual was cancelled that night. Instead, a new ceremony began, one not seen in Varelian history for 1,000 cycles. The joining of two souls across species in the days that followed Earth received an official message from the Varelian throne. Princess Nira declared humanity worthy of full membership in the Galactic Concord, not because of their technology or military might, but because they dared to say beautiful. When others stayed silent, Lily remained on Varelia not as a guest but as nearest bonded. She walked the crystal forests, learned the shadow dances, and taught the court how to brew coffee. Nira in turn visited Earth, often standing in fields watching dandelion seeds float on the wind. They never needed grand titles or public speeches. Their story lived in quiet moments, a shared glance across a council, chamber handheld during storms, a whispered "You are beautiful" in the dark, and the heartstone it never stopped glowing. A small steady light reminding everyone who saw it that sometimes the most powerful revolutions begin with a single honest word spoken, not in anger or ambition but in awe. Months turned into a year, and the bond between Lily and Nira became legend, not just on Varelia or Earth but across the Concord. Their story was told in hushed tones by diplomats and dreamers alike. The human who spoke beauty and the princess who dared to blush. But legends are easy to admire from afar. Living them is harder on Varelia. Change came slowly, like ice melting under a weak sun. Some elders still refused to acknowledge Lily as anything more than a curiosity. They called her the soft shadow always trailing behind the throne. Nira heard the whispers but never flinched. She seated Lily beside her in every council session, gave her voice equal weight, and when a senior minister once suggested humans were too fragile for deep space negotiations, Nira simply said, "Then you have never met." Her Lily tried to adapt. She learned the formal gestures, memorized the complex honorifics, and wore the flowing robes expected of Nira's bonded. But she missed Earth, missed the smell of rain on hot pavement, the sound of children laughing in parks, the taste of strawberries warm from the sunny. Ra noticed her quiet sadness. One evening, as they walked through the palace gardens where light bloomed from crystalline flowers, Nira stopped. "You are homesick," Lily nodded, not trusting her voice. "Then we go." Lily looked up surprised. "But your duties?" "Duties can wait. You showed me your world now. I will walk in yours." So they traveled to Earth, not as royalty and technician, but as two women holding hands on a quiet beach. In Oregon, Nira stood barefoot in the surf, her robes tucked into her belt, her silver eyes wide at the crash and hiss of waves. "It is so loud," she said, "and so alive." Lily laughed and pulled her deeper into the water. Nira shrieked a sound so rare and bright, it startled a flock of gulls into flight. They stayed for weeks. Nira met Lily's aging parents, who welcomed her with trembling hands and tearful smiles. She sat on their porch drinking sweet tea and listening to stories of Lily's childhood. She even tried gardening, though her first attempt at planting tomatoes ended with the seedlings glowing faintly pearlescent for 3 days. But peace never lasts long in the galaxy. A distress call came from the outer Rima human colony ship. The Aurora had gone silent near the Krell frontier. The Krell were a warlike species long at odds with the Concord. Rumors said they had developed a new weapon, one that could unravel bonded minds. The Concord Council debated for days. Some argued it was a trap. Others said The Aurora was not worth the risk. Nira stood and silenced them all. That ship carries 300 souls, among them children, families, people who believed in the promise of peace. If we abandon them, we are no better than the Krellily knew what was coming. She packed her old technician kit before Nira even asked. They took the Silent Blossom alone. No guards, no escort, just the two of them and the hum of the Heartstone between them. The Aurora drifted in dead space. Its hull, scarred and dark scans, showed life signs but weak scattered as they boarded through a ruptured airlock. The silence was thick with dread. Inside they found horror crew members sat frozen in place. Eyes open but empty. Their minds had been scoured clean. No memories, no fear not. Even breath beyond the bare minimum to stay alive. Nira touched one woman's hand and recoiled. Their thoughts are gone, not erased. Unmade. Then they heard it. A child crying. Following the sound they found a sealed nursery. Inside a little girl no older than 5 huddled in a corner clutching a stuffed rabbit. He looked up with tear-streaked cheeks. Are you angels? Lily knelt. No sweetheart. Just friends. The girl's name was Maya. She had hidden when the Krell boarded. She saw them use a device, a black spire that pulsed with sickly green light. It made everyone stop moving. Stop talking, stop being. Nira held Maya close, her voice low. They are testing it, refining it. If they perfect this weapon, they will come for the heart bonded first. For us, Lily felt cold dread. Coil in her stomach? What do we do? Destroy it? They left Maya in the ship's med bay under the care of the Silent Blossom's automated systems, then traced the Krell signal to a hidden base on a nearby moon. The base was small, but heavily shielded. Nira used her royal codes to bypass the outer defenses. Inside they found the weapon, a towering spire humming with stolen Varelian resonance. Tech twisted into something cruel. Guards patrolled. The chamber. Lily pointed to a maintenance shaft overhead. I can get in. Nira gripped her arm. Be careful, I always am. Lily crawled through the narrow duct, her heart pounding. Below, Krell soldiers paced, their armor clanking. She reached the control node and jacked in her old Earth tech. The system resisted, but she found a backdoor. A flaw in their coding: human stubbornness versus alien arrogance. She uploaded a virus designed to overload the spire. But as the progress bar filled, alarms blared. They found her. She dropped into the chamber, rolling to her feet just as a Krell soldier lunged. She dodged, using the bulk of her toolkit as a shield. Nira burst in from the other side, moving like liquid shadow. Her hands glowed with focused energy, disarming 2 soldiers with precise strikes. Together they fought back to back. Lily, with her wrench and quick thinking, Nira with grace and ancient combat forms. But there were too many. A stun blast caught Lily in the shoulders. He fell gasping. Nira screamed her name, in that moment of rage and fear. Something in Nira broke open. The Heartstone flared so brightly it lit the entire base. Light poured from her. Not just glow, but pure resonant energy. The Krell weapons fizzled. Their armor cracked. The spire itself shuddered. Lily dragged herself up. Nira stood at the center of the storm, her eyes blazing, silver fire. But Lily saw the cost. Nira's skin was paling, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Stop, she cried. You will burn yourself out. Nira looked at her, tears like liquid pearl tracing her cheeks. I cannot lose you. Lily stumbled forward and grabbed her. Hands. Then do not fight alone. She channeled her own will through the Heartstone, not as a Varelian but as a human, with all her messy love, her stubborn hope, her unbreakable belief in Nira. The light changed, from silver to gold, to something entirely new. The spire exploded, not with fire but with silence, a wave of pure, null energy that erased the weapon without harming the people. The Krell fled in the aftermath. They sat among the wreckage, holding each other. Maya was safe. The Aurora crew would recover. Slowly, the weapon was gone. Back on Virelia, the council bowed deeper than ever. But Nira no longer cared for bows. She cared for Lily's hand in hers, for the way Maya now called them both auntie, for the quiet mornings when they watched twin suns rise over crystal spires. Years later, when historians asked how peace truly began, they did not speak of treaties or battles. They spoke of a technician who said beautiful, and a princess who whispered, say it again, and the light that grew from there never faded. Peace settled over the Concord like morning mist. But Lily knew better than to trust stillness. She had seen too much war hidden in quiet moments. Nira felt it too. They both sensed the shift before the message came. It arrived on a private channel sealed, with the mark of the Outer Rim Alliance, a group of minor species long ignored by the major powers. Their words were simple, urgent, desperate. The Krell are not gone. They have found something older than weapons, older than empires, something that hungers. Naira read the message twice, then looked at Lily. We have to go. Lily did not ask why. She packed her kit, checked the Heartstone, and followed. The journey took them beyond known space to a region called the Vela, stretch of dead stars and silent comets where even Varelian maps ended. The Outer Rim delegates met them in a derelict station orbiting a black hole. Their leader, a wiry avian named Tessa, spoke in hushed tones. It started 3 cycles ago. Ships vanished without distress calls. Then planets went. Dark, not destroyed, just empty. No bodies, no ruins, just silence. Naira frowned like the Aurora, worse, Tessa said. This silence eats memory. Those who get too close forget who they are. Forget why they came. Forget to return. Lily touched the Heartstone. Can your people shield against it? We tried. Her tech fails within 1,000,000 kilometers. Evan bonded pairs lose connection. Ra went very still. Then she turned to Lily. We go alone. Tessa protested, but Naira was firm. If this thing feeds on thought, on bond, on love, then sending more will only feed it. 2 hearts are harder to break than 1. They took a small scout ship. The whisper, no weapons, no shields, just speed and silence, as they crossed into the veil. The stars thinned, space itself felt thin, brittle. The Heartstone dimmed for the first time since their bonding. Lily felt a cold emptiness seep into her bones. Naira gripped the controls, her knuckles white. Do you feel that? Like something is watching, not watching, listening. They found the first dead world orbiting a dying. Red soon its surface, smooth as glass, no mountains, no oceans, no cities. Just endless mirrored plains reflecting nothing. Can showed no life, no energy, no decay as if time itself had been scraped. Lily stepped onto the surface in a sealed suit. The ground was warm. She knelt and pressed her palm to it, and saw a flash, a city of spires, children playing in light fountains, a woman singing to her lover under twin moons. Then all of it ripped away like pages torn from a book. She gasped, falling back. Naira caught her. What did you see? Everything they were, and how it was taken back on the whisper. Lily shook with cold sweat. It is not a weapon. It is a presence, an entity that consumes stories. Naira stared at the view screen. Then we do not fight it. We feed it something. It cannot digest. Lily understood. Hope. They flew deeper toward the source, a pulsing void at the center of the Velas. They neared. The whisper groaned. Systems flickered. Memories surfaced unbidden. Lily saw her mother's face, but could not recall her name. Naira whispered Varelian lullabies, but forgot the words halfway through. The Heartstone glowed weakly like a dying ember. Hold on, Lily said, gripping Naira's hand. Remember, May, I am trying. The void loomed ahead. Not black, but a swirling absence that hurt to look at. It pulled at their thoughts like gravity on flesh. Naira set the ship on collision course. What are you doing? If it hungers, we give it a feast. She activated the memory core, not just their bond, but every memory they had ever shared. Every laugh, every tear, every whispered secret. She opened it all and aimed it at the void. The ship shuddered as they crossed the threshold. Inside there was no space, no time, only hunger, vast and ancient. Lily felt herself unraveling. Her name, her home, her love for Naira, all slipping through her fingers. Then Naira kissed her, not with lips but with soul. Through the Heartstone she poured every moment she had ever loved. Lily. The first blush, the first touch, the first time Lily said, "Your laugh sounds like wind chimes." All of it raw, real, unbreakable. The void recoiled because this was not just memory. It was choice. It was sacrifice. It was love that said, take everything but leave her. The entity could not consume that. It had no shape for it. No hunger deep enough. Light erupted, not Varelian silver, not human gold, but something new. A color that did not exist before. The void shattered like glass. Silence returned, but this time it was peaceful. On the edge of the veil, the Outer Rim fleet waited. They saw the whisper emerge, trailing stardust, and aboard it 2 women holding each other, weeping with relief. In the weeks that followed, the dead worlds began to wake, not fully but small signs. A single flower pushing through glass soil, a child's toy found in the dust humming a forgotten, tuned memory returning like rain after drought back on Varelia. The council offered Naira a new title, Sovereign of the Veil. She refused. I am not a ruler of voids. I am a keeper of light. Lily stood beside her as always. But now she wore a new pendant beside. The heartstone, a shard of the void, turned into crystal clear and warm. They built a school on the edge of known space, not for warriors or diplomats, but for storytellers. Humans, Varelians, Krell, even the Outer Rim species came. They learned to share memories, not as data, but as gifts Nira taught them. The shadow dances of grief. Lily taught them how to plant strawberries in hydroponic trays. Together they showed that the strongest shield against emptiness was a story told hand in hand years later when new explorers asked what lay beyond the veil. The elders would smile and say nothing. But if the questioner had kindness in their eyes, they might whisper, go with someone you love and bring a story only you can tell. Because the universe is full of hungry things, but none as powerful as two hearts saying, I remember you. And in their quiet home on a world between stars, Lily and Naira still sat each evening watching the sky. The heartstone glowed softly between them, and the void never returned. The quiet did not last, not because of war or voids or ancient hungers, but because of a child. Her name was Alara, born of two worlds, human and Varelian, though no one thought such a thing possible. She arrived on a cold morning in the Edge schools, Medbay, Lily holding her trembling hands, Naira whispering old lullabies with tears like liquid starlight on her cheeks. The heartstone glowed brighter than ever, wrapped around Alara's tiny wrist like a living bracelet. Doctors from 3 species examined her in awe. Her skin held the warmth of earth and the shimmer of Varelia. Her eyes shifted from brown to silver with her moods. She was the first of her kind. News spread faster than any ship could fly. Some called her a miracle, others a mistake. The Concord Council convened in emergency session. A child of mixed blood threatens the balance, one elder declared. Her very existence rewrites laws older than Star. Naira stood before them, not as princess, but as mother. She placed Alara in their midst. Look at her. She does not rewrite laws. She reveals their limits. The council fell silent, at home. Alara grew fast, not in size, but in presence. By 6 months she could calm storms with a Humvee 1 year. She made flowers bloom in the crystal gardens just by laughing. Lily taught her human words, Naira taught her Varelian silence. Together they taught her that love needed no translation. But the universe tests all gifts. A sickness came not of body but of mind. It started in the outer colonies. People forgot how to feel, not like the void's hunger, but something slower, quieter. They stopped singing, stopped holding hands, stopped saying I love you. They called it the gray fate. Doctors found no cause, no virus, no toxin, no weapon. Just a slow dimming of the soul. Alara was the first to notice. She cried one night, clutching her heartstone. The light is sad. Lily and Naira exchanged glances. They had felt it too. A hollowness creeping into joy. They took Alara to the oldest Varelian archive deep beneath the palace, where memories of 10,000 years slept in crystal vaults. There they found a record, an ancient warning. When 2 worlds join, a bridge is made. But bridges can be crossed from both sides, and something had followed them back from the void. Not the hunger itself, its echo, residue of emptiness that clung to their victory like shadow to light. Lara touched the archive wall and spoke her first full sentence. It is lonely. Naira knelt. What is lonely? The echo, it does not want to hurt. It just wants to be seen. Lily understood. Void consumed stories because it had none. The echo faded hearts because it had no heart. So they did not fight. They invited in the central plaza of the Edge School. They built a circle of light, not weapons, not shields, but open hands. Lily sang an old earth lullaby. Naira danced the shadows of longing. Alara sat in the center, her small hands outstretched, and they waited. The first to come was a farmer from Mars, his eyes dull, his voice flat. He stood at the edge of the circle, unmoving. Alara crawled to him and took his hand. She did not speak, she just held it and hummed. Slowly color returned to his cheeks, tears fell. He whispered my daughter's name. One by one others came, a Varelian scholar who had stopped writing, a Krell veteran who forgot how to smile, each touched by Alara's quiet light. The echo did not vanish. It settled, not as sickness, but as companion, a reminder that even emptiness deserves kindness. Years passed. Alara grew into a girl with wild curls and eyes that held galaxies. She ran through the gardens chasing light moths that only she could see. She fixed broken comms with a touch. She made enemies share tea with a single. Look, Lily watched her with pride and fear. What will she become? Nira held her close. What we all become herself? On Alara's 7th birthday, the Concord held a ceremony not to honor her power but her choice. For she had been offered every title, every throne, every future, and she chose none. I want to be a gardener, she said, not of plants, but of hearts. So they gave her a new school, not on the edge but in the center of everything, where species who once warred now sat together, learning to grow kindness like seeds. Lily taught repair Nira, taught memory Elira, taught wonder one evening as stars blinked awake. Lily found Nira on their balcony. You ever wonder if we did right? Nira leaned into her. We did not do right or wrong. We loved. That is enough. Below them, Alara sat with children of a dozen species, telling the story of a human who said beautiful and a princess who whispered, say it again. The heartstone glowed on her wrist, and the echo curled around her like a purring cat. Peace was not the absence of trouble. It was the courage to keep saying beautiful, even when the universe forgets, and in that moment, Lily knew their story was not ending, it was blooming.